Hello viewers, today we're going to be taking a look at two different light bulbs. These are both CCFL bulbs, or cold cathode fluorescent lights. These are both from the TCP brand. One is a 3-watt bulb and the other is a 5-watt bulb. One of them is absolutely fantastic and the other one I don't particularly like. Years ago, before I moved out, I started to stock up on various different kinds of light bulbs that I knew would become difficult to find. So while I had the extra money to throw around, I was buying fairly large quantities of light bulbs that were on the verge of extinction, including various different kinds of fluorescent bulbs, such as these cold cathode light bulbs. These are absolutely fascinating to me. I remember many years ago seeing these out in the wild for a very brief period of time, and I thought they were interesting because the tube was so small compared to a regular CFL, which at the time the tube was still pretty big. So these are the TCP model number CCFT03CL27K. These are 3-watt bulbs, which I believe in this technology has the equivalency of about a 15-watt bulb, and very high efficiency. It pulls only 3 watts, 0.053 amps. It is outdoor rated if you install it this way for water resistance, although I would typically say that these should be installed like this as to not cook the ballast. These are very good quality bulbs, very heavy. It's glass, not plastic, so it's not going to discolor with usage, and they got a lot of weight to them too. So these unfortunately did not catch on because the cold cathode technology, at least when used like this, has a very long startup time. They're instant on in the sense that they come on as soon as you hit the switch, but it takes several minutes before they will reach full brightness. And so consequently they were not very liked by consumers and had a very short and limited lifespan. That's unfortunate because these are very good bulbs. It's a very reliable technology, and if built properly like these bulbs are, they can achieve well past their rated lifespan of 25,000 hours. And unlike LEDs made today, which are very cheap and typically never last anywhere near their described lifespan, these often exceed their lifespan, especially if they're never shut off. So this is the 3-watt version, and I bought, I think, 39 of these at the time. I don't know why that number, 31, 30, it was some weird number in the 30s. And I had used these in the bedroom in most of the lamps, and I find that the quality of light on these is incandescent equivalent. It is a nice, comfortable, soft glow, no flicker, easy on the eyes. So you can see how it's instant on, right? But then it takes a long time for the tube to actually warm up. You can see on the bottom here, the tube is bright right there and then nowhere else. So we'll let that warm up. It'll take a few minutes. And then let's go back to this other bulb. So this bulb is the TCP, and you can see it's pretty much the same thing. This is the TCP 8TF05CL light bulb. And this bulb is the same concept, just at a higher wattage with a larger tube. Now this is really given a good example of the warm-up time. See how the top part of there is pretty much no illumination whatsoever, and then it's starting to get bright from the bottom up. So this is why these were not very well liked by consumers because of this delay in the startup. And there's certain applications where I wouldn't want that either, but for the most part, if this is going to save a substantial amount of money, I'll deal with it. Save money and last, if it's going to last a long time too. So this bulb is this one is 5 watts, 0.046 amps, and it really looks pretty much the same inside. And the reason why I got this was because I was experimenting with lighting for the living room. So the living room is a very large room, and it has the lighting on the rafters there. And at the moment I have, which is the setup that came with the house, there's 8 fixtures in there, and each fixture has a 39 watt halogen par 20 bulb. And the lighting is decent. It's pretty pleasant. You can dime it down and it's really nice at night. But the problem is it doesn't get super bright. And so I've tried to do some videos in there before, and the videos are kind of noisy because there's not enough lighting, and if I'm doing a task in there like cleaning a pellet stove, I need a drop light to really see properly. So I want to change it so that the lighting in there is brighter. The problem is there's a limitation because now it's all in the same circuit. When I first moved in, it was on 2 different switches. I combined it and put it onto one. The dimmer switch is a 500 watt switch. I could change it within 1,000, but I'm not sure what else is on that circuit, and I'm not sure I have enough power for that. Because then I could double the wattage of the bulbs and then get the effect that I want, but still have the nice dim lighting when wanted. So I need some kind of a high efficiency bulb, and I need a lot of them. And so I remembered I had these. And I says, I like these. I wonder if I could get adapters, or what you see here, and stick a whole mess of those bulbs in each of the sockets. So I did that. I tested one, and I filled it with these 3 watt bulbs, and it's great. So and it works out good because it's was 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21 watts. So it's about half of what's there right now, and it's 15, 30, 60, 90, 105. So we're going from a 50 watt to 105. So we're doubling the brightness, yet cutting the power draw in half. So it seemed like a win all around. So I went to see the quantity that I had of those, the 3 watt bulbs, and sadly I only had 30 something and I needed 56. That was when I went and I searched for the TCP bulbs, and I saw those, which were available in a large quantity, hundreds available still. So I bought a few just to try. I mean, I expected them to be fine because they're pretty much the same thing as the other ones. I bought a few to try, and it's a good thing I only bought a few because I don't really like them. I don't know if it's going to show up on the video too well, but this one on the left is a nice 27 okay, my brain just crashed. 2700 Kelvin temperature, and there's no flicker. It's nice clean light, right? This one is it's like 3500 Kelvin. It's very like white, and it's a little bit harsh on the eyes, and it's got a little bit of a flicker to it. And you can kind of tell, I don't know if the video catches it, when I move my hand by, you can see the refresh rate of the bulb, whereas with these you don't see anything. So that's kind of how you can tell that it flickers. Now, it's not bad enough to the point where I wouldn't use them, because I did put them in there just to see if I would get a headache, and I didn't. So there are certain applications where I could use those bulbs, like I'd put them in a fixture outside, or something that you know, like a task lighting, or something that's not really illuminating in an area where I want a nice pleasant light. But the bottom line is those were not going to work for the living room, and I don't have the money to spend right now, so not using those. And I wonder if we zoom in here, are we going to see any banding on the camera? Yep, we do. See that line going up? That's the refresh rate of the bulb. So you can see with video evidence that there's a pretty good flicker to that bulb. Whereas this one doesn't have that. It is 100% flicker free, pleasant on the eyes. It really is incandescent quality light, which is hard to find a fluorescent source that does that. So, needless to say, this was the choice. Perfect fit for the living room, but sadly I didn't have enough. So I went back to the original listing that I bought from several years ago, and it was still up. So I wrote to the seller, I said, how many you got left? And I think he said there was about 40. And I said, okay, $2 a piece, give me the rest of them. And he said, alright, sure. So I got them in, and they're here. And then I had to track down these seven-way socket things. So we're all set. We're ready to execute this in the living room. These, I have a box of 12. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them. I'll find something to do with them. They're perfectly good bulbs for certain applications, just not for the living room. And I have enough of these other ones to fill up the living room. Now the unfortunate part is that I only have enough bulbs to do this once. Once they start burning out, that'll be the end of it. But might as well use them because no one's going to enjoy them sitting in a box. But I think they'll last a long time. I don't even really use the lights in there all that often, just a couple hours a day at most, and not every day. So I tend to think that these will last me a very long time in there. Probably over a decade if I decide to keep it in there without changing it out for something else. Not sure this will be the permanent solution for that room. There's other things I want to try. I kind of want to try the G2D units that would look really cool. Maybe some circle line fluorescence sometime. There's other things I want to try in there, but we're going to start with this because I think it'll be practical and it'll save some money and it'll give me some more light. So next time you see these bulbs on video, there will be 56 of them in the living room.